5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello and welcome, everyone, to Truth, Beer, and Consequences.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Julia. Woot, woot. Woot, woot, indeed, Gnome. Hello, everyone. This is a podcast where my co-host and I listen to and watch all the Cincinnati-based craft beer media from the previous week. We get together at a podcast host, and today we are back. I even did a thing.
You did it after you said back, I think.
No, you just weren't paying attention. You were
yes.
looking at the table and not at me.
Well, I'm trying to do some math about pineapples.
No.
Back.
Holes.
Higher Gravity Summit Park. Thank you, Higher Gravity, for being a gracious podcast host. My name is Marco. I'm in the alcohol space locally.
Hi, Marco.
Hello.
Marco.
I brewed beer for several years.
You did?
Did
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Back when I was in the beer business.
Our favorite shopkeep.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Anyways, one of the voices you heard belongs to the gnarly Gnome.
Hey.
Hello. Thank you for being here, Gnome.
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence if I'm staying.
No, I got
still
you.
a little bit mad.
Okay.
About
but we brought you
About
a.
the pineapple
yeah.
stuff.
We even brought you one as a present.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Left it on your chair for you.
I know. I sat on it, and it
Yeah.
took me a long time to get it back out.
You know.
You see, if you would wear pants, that wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah, but then it gets warm.
And the other voice you heard belongs to the best co-host in Podcast Landia.
I'm Julia, and I regret everything.
Okay.
Yep.
Is life really meaningful if you don't regret everything?
No.
So, we're not like those fake-ass podcasts out there.
That's true.
We do have beers.
Yes.
But before I tell you what everyone's drinking.
And actual pineapples.
And we have,
We have actual
We have an actual pineapple. I think Julia has a picture. Do you have a
yes.
picture yet?
I do. I will put
The
it.
sound of a pineapple.
Those are the fronds. Not to be confused with Rhinegeist
Franz.
Fronds. Different fronds.
Yeah, different fronds. The thoughts and opinions on this podcast are ours and ours alone. They do not reflect any entity which we may be affiliated with, such as full-time jobs, part-time jobs, or third jobs, or Higher Gravity. If you want to get at us, you can get at us. You can find us in the show notes. It's real easy. We'll tell you how at the end of the pod to catch up with us. That disclaimer is for myself. Julia and Gnome can speak for whoever they want to speak for, actually.
No, I'm good with that.
You're good?
I'm
Okay.
good with that. Yeah.
All of my thoughts and opinions. I speak for Dole. Dole Incorporated. Is that the name of the company?
There we go.
Dole.
There we go.
Yeah. Not like those fake-ass podcasts out there that don't actually drink when they're talking about craft beer. Julia, what you drinking?
I am having from Masthead Sea Cerveza.
Ah, okay.
very
I had
good.
a Masthead IPA earlier. That's not what I'm drinking right now. I am drinking Tetons from HighGrain.
Nice.
Or is it Titan? Let's go with Teton.
Teton.
Yeah.
Teton indeed. And
Teton. Titan.
Yeah.
Titan.
And Gnome.
I'm drinking. I have to look it up again because I keep forgetting. This is Summer
Sue
Sue from Toppling Goliath. It's a citrus pale ale, and it's citrusy.
How about them Panthers, Julia?
How about which ones?
Florida Panthers. Come on now.
I mean,
6-1.
whatever.
Up 2-1.
You know, just because all of the teams that I cheer for tend to, not know how to go to completion, it's fine. It's fine.
I feel like there's a lot of tiki holes in Florida.
Probably are, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
All right. Did either of you watch or listen to any pieces of Cincinnati beer content?
I think I did.
Over the past
I
week?
think I did too.
I think I did.
All right, let's
refresh my memory.
All right, we had an episode of Barstool Perspectives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was only one perspective on the episode, though.
I was a little late, but I was there.
You were there, yeah. We have an episode of Brewbound Podcast where they talked about merchandise.
Yeah.
Did
Or
listen
one of
to
our
Merchandising.
Blake's Craft Beer Podcast made it back to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Talking to Kelly Montgomery.
I listened to that one.
And then the most depressing weekly pint episode that we have had in a while.
Sorry.
Yeah. It is what it is. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
All right. Where would you guys like to start with?
Who out of all of the podcast hosts would be most likely to have the most successful tiki hole?
Probably you.
Yeah, it probably would be me. Yep.
It probably would be.
Yeah,
I mean,
I got the tiki hole.
I think you have the most enthusiasm towards it. So
I was going to
Tiki's?
say most accepting hole for tiki.
indeed.
One of us has to figure it out.
I also called this episode "The Gnarly Gnome" and the No Good Terrible, or the Horrible Terrible No Good Very Bad Week,
Okay.
because
Okay.
pretty much the entire episode was there was very little positives in what you talked about this week.
Thank you,
except
Kevin.
For,
Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah. Except for the schnapps. The schnappening was once again an actual schnapp 2 weeks in a row.
Beer was good too.
Could you taste it very well eventually?
Eventually,
I guess.
yeah.
So you did voltage peppermint schnapps, which is
So good.
It's so incredibly good, and it is such a bold choice for your first beverage
Well, I
of the
didn't.
show.
I didn't think ahead.
Well, it's yeah, probably not. But it allowed you to have a ton of sips or sniffs. I'm sorry, not as many sips, but a ton of sniffs for our count for the end of this recap. You covered how you get peppermint taste out of your mouth. It's by filling your mouth hole with dicks.
Yep, it does work.
Which actually, Marco, that was your suggestion. Like,
Yeah.
hey, shove some dicks in your mouth,
It's
and
usually
that'll
Marco's
get rid of
suggestion.
That's my
try this.
usual suggestion.
And the salt covered up the peppermint.
Yeah.
At least enough to where you could enjoy your beer, which was Wild East Brewing's Chaos and Consequence, which sounded delicious.
The name makes it sound very like bold,
Mm-hmm.
like some kind of big like chaos and consequence imperial stout, something like that. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
but it wasn't.
It's more like a truth beer and consequences. Whereas this
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like,
It sounds big and bold, but it's actually just kind of
Sounds better than it's
mid.
actually going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's mid at best. Let's see. You then went to talking about how missing Linck was missing, and that ate up most of
That was
most of
depressing.
the episode.
That-
But it was
the festival was missing from Missing Link.
yeah. It, as someone who went down there not getting the memo, because I mean, really, I think
Nobody got the memo.
I think the only memo went out to like a couple of specific individuals and not any type of.
Like Brett and Mike.
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
exactly,
I think they just told each other.
Well,
Yeah,
but,
like,
but
Beer
Mike was
festival.
there, so maybe Mike even thought there was a festival. I mean,
No,
I think
I
He was definitely
He was
there. So
there.
yeah,
He was festing, right?
He didn't get the memo.
no.
It's just Brett.
Which
was he willing to sign books?
I didn't ask.
No, I did not ask. I still don't know if he knew who I was, which is fine.
It's fine. I don't know if he knows who I am.
You got so upset talking about missing Linck and how, like, it was just, in my words, not communicating that it
Not
wasn't
other
happening.
people's words.
But mine, I felt like it was kind of a big fuck you to not only the other breweries in the area that had been making Missing Linck beers, but also all of the people that love and were
Yeah.
supporting the Missing Linck Festival. Like you were saying, you have social media, you have a website. Just put something out saying we apologize, but due to unforeseen circumstances, the festival, is canceled for this year. We will still have our Missing Linck beer on tap, and these are the breweries that will have their own Missing Linck in their own tap rooms. But just to not say anything
Missing
at
Linck
all,
has its own website, its own social media accounts.
Right.
And they haven't been updated since last year.
No.
Which
Well, the
probably
website-
should have been. Yeah, the website was updated to some extent.
to say everything's coming back in 2026 except for the Bruckman tour, which was happening, but it never said anything about there will not be a gathering of beers here. There was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. I thought it was going to be smaller.
The bartenders, when I talked to them,
Didn't you say that they didn't even realize?
they thought there was nothing happening and didn't know until people started showing up that there was something that people thought was happening.
Did they know about the Bruckman tour starting there?
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right. It is so easy to communicate these days, yet for whatever reason, no one does it. Or maybe it was like maybe it was a Kitty Genevieve situation to where everyone thought someone else was going to do it, and no one did it. Which is still not an excuse.
No,
it is
not a
still
good
absolutely no, not at all.
It was just disappointing.
Very, very, absolutely, 100%.
Who's Kitty Genevieve?
Kitty Genevieve was a woman in New York or Boston? I think New York.
I was pretending like I knew what she was talking about.
I do know. I was
Who,
asking for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. She was attacked in the stairwell of her apartment complex, calling, help me, as this man was stabbing her and, all kinds of things. People in their apartments overlooking this courtyard were, hey, stop that. No one called for the police. And when they were asked why, Kitty ended up dying in a stairwell. Well, why didn't anyone call? Well, I thought someone else was calling. Mm-hmm. And it's that whole, everyone assumed someone else was doing it.
That's pretty gruesome.
So nothing actually happened.
So
you know what?
So this kitty lady dying in a stairwell is like missing link.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was an unnecessarily brutal disappointment when all that needed to happen was a post.
Yeah.
2 minutes to make a phone call to the police. 2 minutes to say,
I don't think that
we apologize, the festival's canceled.
I don't think that there's that many people involved with the planning of Missing Link up until this year that you can blame it on them assuming somebody else did it.
But if anything else,
it's not a valid excuse.
Brett, did you?
No, I'm not trying.
Mike,
I'm not
did
trying
you?
to say that there's any. No, but if anything, this year, because Humble Monk is no longer around, there were even less people involved. So someone should have picked up the fucking banner and just do it.
Yep. Doesn't have to be a crazy festival.
Exactly. Hey,
Like
has anyone
Denzel
put
in
out
Glory.
anything out this? No, I haven't. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
That's too old a reference. Like
What's that? I
Denzel in
missed it.
Glory.
That's a pretty old reference.
Yeah, I got nothing. The talk about the disappointment of Missing Link Fest not happening had you so upset that you even had an extra pour of schnapps, which I don't think has ever happened since the invocation of the schnappening on your show. I don't think. I mean, I don't
know.
Well, you
would have notes. I would.
I think you've had.
He's had multiple pours in the beginning for the schnappening, but you've never gone back to it. I think, well, unless we want to count that one time where you decided to mix everything.
No, that's
But
not
which
the
wasn't
same.
really right. It wasn't a
not the
direct
same.
shot happening there.
Wow, direct shot.
Right in the glory hole.
Right in the old pineapple acceptor.
I have no words.
Okay.
No words. Another incredibly disappointing topic: Woodburn. Woodburn is.
I'm still trying to be positive and maintain some kind of hope for the future.
Yes, you brought up a couple of good points on what things could happen that could, I guess.
They're selling
the brand.
not only the space, but they're also
The
selling the
brand.
brand, which is
The
extremely
recipes
important.
and all that. Right, exactly.
Yeah, the recipe of.
Well,
I don't know if they actually have the recipes.
I don't know. It was on the poster that's
I think it was in a.
on the wall, I think.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think that you had some very good ideas of what entities could make that work and bring the brand back to what it was initially.
I'm laying the groundwork.
Yes. I mean, I have $2.50 that I can contribute if needed.
Yeah.
Let's start a GoFundMe.
That always works
Bring
out well for
Woodburn back.
breweries.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, but unlike other breweries, we're not going to promise anything except for we will take their money at the end of the GoFundMe.
Isn't that what breweries do?
That's exactly what breweries do.
Well, no, normally they say, hey, you donate this much, you get a pint glass, and those are the things that you're not allowed to do. So we're not going to tell them we're going to give them anything.
I think, on GoFundMe.
You know what I mean?
Pint glasses.
Right. Or any kind of you donate this much, you get this, that's a Kickstarter, not a GoFundMe. So GoFundMe is, we just need money.
Yeah.
So
Fund me.
Fund me.
Oh, I get
Yes.
it.
It's
Yeah.
not give me money and I will give you something in return. That's totally different. So if you give us money, we will continue to talk about
fund
how
me.
great it would be if Woodburn came back in the way that it initially was, rising from the ashes of, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see. You did have an interesting line of conversation about once that initial connection to a brand is broken, is there a way to get that initial connection or that same feeling back?
Right.
If you're very passionate about a brand and all of a sudden something changes and it's just not the same, and that trust, for lack of a better word, is broken. Can that same trust ever be rebuilt?
I like connection. I like the idea of connection as what I would describe it as.
I think it's possible, but it has to be a lot of the really right pieces. I don't think it's as easy as someone who doesn't know anything about the brand or the history coming in and just starting it 100% fresh. Because I think for that connection to be rebuilt, you need to try to bring back some of those ties that made the place that
you have
originally
to
great
find the right pieces of it to
pull
use.
back exactly, and what pieces
not
do you not
mess them up.
Right, exactly. And then the third disappointing story that you talked about was Big Ash's kitchen.
Yeah.
It's so
Look,
their kitchen.
Let me put the disclaimer out here first.
All right.
I get it. La Rosa's is a local company. It's like our pizza thing. Mm-hmm. It also just, in my opinion, it sucks. It sucks even worse than shoving a pineapple up your bunghole. It's La Rosa's is terrible pizza. It's not good. And I know that a lot of people disagree with me, including my entire family.
A lot of people agree with you.
Yeah. I
just don't like
I'll
it.
eat it. I have no problem with it. But is it ever my first choice? I get super excited about. No, but it's just. I mean, it's there.
It also tastes better at Kings Island and at the zoo than it does in normal life, for some reason.
I would agree with that. And I was thinking about that. Is it that maybe it's sitting out for a bit and something about that aging process?
Yeah, it's aging.
Does it? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Finally aged.
Aged pizza.
Finally aged in the heat lamps.
But I do. Or is it like a beer? Is it just a situational thing that makes it?
No, I think it's different. I think the actual product is different.
It's
Yeah,
different.
I think they use different ingredients. It's the only thing I can come up with.
All right. But yeah, so the
So
Big
you're
Ash.
saying better ingredients, better pizza?
Papa La Rosa's. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Big La Rosas, Ash La Rosas, La Ashes, La Big. How do we combine La Rosas and Big Ash?
La Ashes?
La
Is that what you said?
Yeah, La Ashes.
I like it when you call me Big Rosas.
Well, there we go. Yeah.
They could run with that. Big roses.
Big Roses.
We talked about this before we started recording. I have this theory that it's a bigger play by La Rosa's that I.
Yes.
It has to be.
It has- yeah,
This doesn't make any sense for La Rosa.
I might have a
No.
blog post coming about this, about my theories, just to stir the pot a little bit. But
Yeah.
I think La Rosa's is going to take over the entirety of Big Ash, stop brewing beer, and just have a self-serve bar.
It'll
La
be
Rosa's.
That makes the most sense.
La Rosas with a tap room. It'll.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll close the current Anderson location, and
I don't even know that they would do that.
they might not even have to do that.
And they
right.
might brand it a little different, but I don't know. I got theories.
They could do what they've done with some of the other locations, and it'll be like a pickup, carry out, delivery only, and to eat in you go to the Big Ash.
Maybe.
So,
Or just
the
leave
Big
it
Roses.
leave it the same.
Or leave it the same,
Big
right?
Roses.
Exactly.
That's something different.
Exactly.
Big
To
roses.
try and lighten the mood, you ended the show with a hot dick tasting.
I always like to
And,
taste some dicks.
Yeah. Did it help to be less sad about just the?
Yep. In general, anytime you're feeling down, a little blue, a good
Good dick in the
dick,
mouth will take care of it.
will take care of that.
If you had
Hot
a
dicks.
bad day, put a dick in your mouth.
It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's spectacular. And then you did give everyone a task, a call to action, if you will.
CDA.
Exactly, Marco. The task is try to combine the words bread, dicks, and mince into one easy-to-say, funny word. Yes. Bread, dick, and mince was
dick,
kind of, I
mince
think,
is-
the forerunner.
The hell
Seems
is
like it's-
happening
Even-
with all these fruit flies?
They're all attracted to this
The
pineapple.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I know when Marco first said, "Oh man, we're getting fruit flies," I'm like, "Yeah, I wonder why." And I'm like, it's like I
Fucking
think,
fruit at the table.
Pineapple has been in somebody's butt. Why would there be flies?
You know,
Yeah.
I bet we could store it in the dishwasher, and that might keep.
Oh, hold on.
You know
It
what?
does-
Oh, hey, here-
it does need a cleaning.
All right. Do either of you have anything else on this episode 265 of the Weekly Pint before the sniff and sip count?
No,
I don't.
Not gonna hold this up. Let's
All
go.
right. You took 30 sniffs. 28 of those were of the peppermint schnapps, and then you took 8 sips out of your multitude of beverages.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That is 38 total countable.
Yep.
According to our drinking game, which is a 2-ounce sip for every sip taken or sniff, whatever we're counting. 76 ounces or 4.75 pints.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty
in
good.
this hour-ish long show.
I was gonna say it was about an hour, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hour and 16 minutes, 15 minutes, something like
yeah,
that.
something about that, yeah.
It's about how long our conversation
The new,
was after.
Yeah, well,
The new intro music is fantastic.
just cut it off too quick.
And
Hey, now.
I was a little sad that you didn't just kind of like hum some outro music or sing some outro music for
I
us.
worked
when-
on it today. We'll have outro music next week.
Awesome. Can't
Didn't I
wait.
do an outro music for the Weekly Pint?
You did. You did
sort
theme
of,
music. It was
yeah.
not outro music.
Yeah.
It was like, "Welcome to the Weekly Pint."
I thought it was. This is the outro to the Weekly Pint.
Maybe it was.
Do we need to take a break before we move
Yeah.
on to the next few pieces of content? All right. We will be right back.
Right back.
Okay. I think we've made it.
Back.
Back.
That was wonderful. That was great. That was great.
Man.
What you guys drinking? Got refreshed beers?
I still have
Beers.
Teton.
Teton, okay.
I went with a raspberry Beret.
Raspberry Beret. All right. All right.
Yeah.
That's kind of that's an OG.
Beret. I don't know.
Beret.
Beret.
Yes.
Beret.
All right.
It's from Streetside.
Streetside.
Streetside. Streetside is the best side.
You know what? I won't disagree with that. Yeah, yeah. I'm still working on my Cerveza because, it's what I do.
Okay. You know what? Let's go Brewbound because Brewbound, it was only a portion of Brewbound.
That's correct.
So we don't have to talk about the
do a
whole
thing.
Brewbound.
Yes, yes.
Although there was
He-
some other good stuff in that episode.
There was. There absolutely was. But I think we're going to focus on
Sure.
the Rhinegeist part of it. Well, I mean, did you want to talk
No,
about
it's fine.
Okay, all right.
It's not my show.
The Brewbound podcast from June the 4th, Inside Rhinegeist Marketing Strategy. They had merch director Jenny Morrissey and the vice president of marketing Tracy Ireland on the show. The interview came in at 34 minutes and 45 seconds into the episode. They covered a couple things prior to this interview.
Yeah, the whole thing's worth listening to.
100%,
really is.
100%.
It really is.
But if you are just interested in the Cincinnati, the Rhinegeist portion of it, the 34-minute mark is where you want
That's
to
when
jump
you got to
to.
get your notebook out.
Exactly. One of the things that they started the interview with that kind of took me by surprise, I was not aware that Cincinnati thought that Rhinegeist was a T-shirt company.
No, that's not the way the saying
that's
goes.
not at all.
That's what happens when a guy from
That's the T-shirt people at Rhinegeist. They make that joke.
Idaho or Iowa, thinks the joke is.
And then just explaining it like that instead of kind of doing a Cincinnati thinks it's a anyway.
It is kind
Anyway.
of fun. Like I have been out of town, other places, and seen people wearing Rhinegeist gear.
Oh sure, yeah.
And obviously, you say something like, "Hey, I'm from Cincy. Have you been to Rhinegeist?" No, I've never been there. Like, what?
That's a cool shirt, right?
What?
yeah.
You got the shirt, but you've never been there? Like that is weird.
It-
Unique.
I agree.
Weird is
weird,
not.
unique,
Weird is
yeah,
not a
yeah.
good way to put it. Like it's cool.
Did
but-
they say that they've ever had, because Rhinegeist isn't just in Ohio, so they never had the beer, they just had.
The time that happened to me, no, they had not had the beer at all.
Interesting.
Never had it. Just
Okay.
got the T-shirt. It's fine.
Like normally it's, had a beer and all I got was
I have a
stupid
T-shirt that
but,
says polo, and I've never played polo, so I
this
get
is-
it.
this is
Wow.
a good point.
Okay.
Yeah. The pineapple's getting looks.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it's
It's,
covered in stuff.
I mean, I guess it's not every day that you walk into Higher Gravity and there's just like a pineapple on one of the tables. Maybe it should be a more
Should
common
be.
thing.
It should be. Yeah, it's summertime.
Fruit baskets or whatever on all the tables. Although,
Bananas and pineapples everywhere.
are we contributing to the fruit fly problem here?
No, we're attracting them away from the beer.
This is true. We are doing the Lord's work.
Yep.
Yes. Jason, Nick, you're welcome. Just put a pineapple at the table and
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Sounds
to
good.
go. Let's see. So Rhinegeist is more than just a T-shirt company. Jenny's journey from fashion to working for a brewery was pretty fantastic. Mm-hmm. The different brands that she has worked for, the different ways that she has taken, learning about, selling capsule systems and working through limited releases and all that has really helped them to dial into the merchandising branch of the Rhinegeist brand.
I've been saying for years that breweries need to focus more on their merch than what they are. Mm-hmm. Like there's a lot of room for places to have really cool merch, and Rhinegeist is finally getting that and investing in the spots that they need to, and that makes me excited.
Right. I mean, they even said that first it was kind of just a marketing thing, like, okay, T-shirts to sort of promote the brand, but now it's pretty much its own branch of the business. Like, it is a bigger focus or not a bigger focus, but a bigger...
It's an actual business within a business.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's what I was trying to
That's what it should grow to be. Mm-hmm. Now, I can get how when a brewery starts up,
tiny brewery's different.
But when you're one of the top, not just top 50, they're what, top
20, 30?
Yeah, they're in the
20, 30, I think.
Top 25 breweries. Mm-hmm. You're moving a lot of volume. You probably should have more than just T-shirts, and you probably should have a variety of T-shirts and things that come in and out, seasonal things, one-off deals.
Yeah.
But I would argue that you don't have to be big to understand that. And there are places that have kind of... Swine City is another great example of one locally that gets it. They, they'll release a beer. They did that collaboration with Mullet Review.
Oh, yeah.
And, there's a beer, and there's a couple T-shirts that go along with it, and some stickers and whatever else. And it gives people something else that makes them want to collect and get these things.
Right.
That not only promote your business then, but also get people to keep coming back for more. They just want to keep getting the next thing.
Yeah.
Every year when breweries put out their new line of Pride merch, I want all of them. Right. I want every single one because they typically are different from year to year. And Rhinegeist is doing that with smaller, again, they're capsules of their designs, like the Wiener Dog design.
Yeah.
I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't buy one of those.
Oh, when they were out. The whole dive bar
thing
series with Cincy Light, I think, is brilliant.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I think... We've said it before in this pod. I think Mad Tree missed out on a huge opportunity with not having branded pack and plays.
Yes.
Kayaks.
Yes.
Kayaks are one of those things like that.
You can get inflatable kayaks now.
Yes, absolutely.
You can get an inflatable kayak, Mad Tree branded, and they would sell.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
How much other camping gear and stuff should have a Mad Tree logo on it? There's a lot of things that
should... camping, cooking equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you name it, they should have it.
The little pop-up, little pop-up end tables with 4 cup holders in them.
Yeah.
Don't they have coolers? Or maybe
off
that's
and
a
on,
one off and on.
have.
Okay.
If you sold a Mad Tree branded cast iron skillet with a big Mad Tree logo in the skillet,
yes.
I would 100% buy that.
Absolutely.
I would buy it and I would use
absolutely.
it, and all of my pancakes would have a Mad Tree
logo on it. Yeah. They did compare kind of what Rhinegeist is doing a bit to what Liquid Death is doing with their merchandise, which I kind of agree with 100%. They have a brand, they have a product, their main product, water and different types of water, that it's already selling well. It's already a recognized brand. But they also have a line of merchandise that it's all kind of limited. They don't keep the designs around for very long, and they're all freaking incredible, and you just kind of want to snag them up.
Have you seen the Liquid Death tiki mug?
I have.
Yeah, it's pretty
I'm
cool.
actually wearing a Liquid Death shirt now.
You are wearing a Liquid Death shirt.
It has a wolf with antlers on it. I'm like, how can I not buy that?
Okay.
And I feel like that's kind of the same with a lot of what Rhinegeist is doing. They put out this weird one-off image that maybe you wouldn't necessarily associate with Rhinegeist or with one of their beers, but it works.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, where am I in my notes? Driving the demand with scarcity, frequent and limited product drops is a key thing that they are finding is really helping them with not having too much inventory that they're sitting on, but still getting most of it sold off. The key is not to cheap out on the quality of the product, which 100%. So you're not going to get a cheap T-shirt blank with anything that you get from Rhinegeist. And that is one of the things about some of the smaller product drops from other brands is it'll be like, hey, this is a limited run T-shirt for X, and it's like that stiff 100% cotton. The first time you wash it, it either shrinks too much or it gets a little offside, or the screen printing isn't actually screen printing, and it just
They have their own
it's terrible.
shop.
Some things are good,
Yeah.
stiff. Some things are not.
They know.
Yeah.
But Rhinegeist has their own.
A little,
Print
they
shop.
got
Yeah,
a
which
print shop,
I didn't realize until this.
Only two breweries that I know of in town that do, and that's Rhinegeist and Swine.
That's
I
all.
think that's it. They're printing their own T-shirts.
Yeah, because doesn't Swine do? I know there's a traveling T-shirt maker that Listerman has had on site for some of their bigger releases, where they would just make
Yeah.
T-shirts on demand. Which, I mean, that's another thing. If you don't want to have to keep a bunch
yeah.
of stock that you're not sure of, you can have these things
And
to where
for an
you're
event,
making
like if it's an
yeah.
anniversary event or something, bring
Yeah.
somebody like that in and just do
right,
stuff.
right, and that way you're not sitting on 100 extra shirts.
Screen
that-
printing T-shirts is a hobby that can be scaled to commercial
Sure.
with not that much cost.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I mean, yeah, there's hardware and, assembly and then learning how the technique is to do it. But you can screen print if that's what you really want to do. And, if somebody has a passion to do it that's on your staff, you can make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the other points they talked about was, and when they mentioned this, Gnome, I thought about you and your merchandise stuff. Inventory will make or break your business.
Oh, it's terrible.
Know what you'll be okay with having sit on the shelves. And I always think, like, how many other random shirt sizes do you have that just
Yeah.
never seem to go away because only a handful
There
of
are
people
shirts that
want...
will always be sitting in my basement.
Right.
Always.
Right. And that's why Mark and I have never really gone into let's make merch for general sale, because
Yeah.
we don't want to have to buy, a minimum of 100 shirts in random sizes, knowing that maybe we'll sell 3. It doesn't make sense for
Yeah.
us. So inventory is a big thing, and I think that's what holds a lot of smaller breweries back. They don't want to have to order X amount of shirts that they're like, we know we're going to at least sell 10, 15, 20, whatever that number is. What do we do with the rest of them?
But you got to
If they-
think. You got to think outside of the box too. Like I know that most of what they talked about was T-shirts,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a big part of what they do. But like there are so many other products that you can do as a business.
Oh, absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
Can maybe speak louder to your brand than just a T-shirt with your logo on it. Put some actual thought into it
Yeah.
and create some of the
Mantry branded frisbees, like the
Yeah.
Mantry dog toys that they have. I mean,
Yeah.
they really are. And I know that Rhinegeist has some. I think they have a couple dog toys and some other things like that as well. But yeah, they're not just looking at apparel. They're going, what else can we put our brand on?
Didn't Urban Artifact have like branded smoking papers at one point, like rolling papers?
I want to say they
Wow.
did.
I don't know.
I feel like that
but
was
that
Urban.
sounds
That
like
sounds
a,
right, but I don't know if I'm
sounds
really
like right up the lane.
Things like
there.
that are fun.
Sure,
Like it's just
right.
it's a really smart way to kind of think outside the box. And
Oh, absolutely.
they definitely had frisbees,
Yeah.
like disc golf frisbees.
They are open to the idea of collaborating with other brands, but it has to feel right. They're not just going to collab with Adidas just because.
I'm here, Rhinegeist. I'm waiting on you.
I'm telling you, a Gnome Rhinegeist collab would be amazing.
Gnomegeist.
Yes.
We can make a whole line of merch.
The little ghost logo with the gnome hat on it.
Yep.
I'd buy 10.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Rhinegeist, we know you're
Something
big
to slide
listeners.
the pineapple in, really.
Yep.
Pineapple branded gnome merch.
Yep.
It's coming up next for the gnomies.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. All right, that was all that I had on this episode of the Brewbound podcast. Do either of you have anything else you want to toss out about this episode?
Nuggets.
There were a lot of good nuggets in the episode.
No, like chicken.
Oh, like chicken. Okay.
No.
Okay. What's your favorite chicken nugget?
Dino.
Okay, that's that. Yes.
Duh.
All right. Do we want to talk about Blake or do we want to talk about Barstool Perspective next?
Let's go Blake first.
Go Blake
Yeah,
first?
that's a
All
good-
right.
good call.
Yeah. He's been away from the Cincinnati area for a couple of weeks.
Not unusual.
show?
He's based out of
T. Roy
Miami.
Yeah.
Valley.
Oh, that makes. I thought he was from Miami.
Oh, you mean like welcome to Miami?
You know,
Yes.
bienvenido a Miami.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Blake's Craft Beer Podcast, episode 67, Third Eye Brewing, 5 years with Kelly Montgomery.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kelly has also been on Blake's podcast episodes 10 and 50. Blake was spot on with that. He must have notes.
Maybe.
Or, maybe he might. Or he
Maybe.
just has a damn
He's
good
gotta have
memory.
notes.
He's got to have
he's
notes.
got to have notes.
No actual human can remember that kind of information.
Blake's got notes.
Hell yeah. Only the cool people have notes. Gnome has notes. I have notes.
True
Mark, you
that.
have notes.
My notes match your notes.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. We're all cool. There was some talk about, later in the episode, about the beers that Kelly made at Brink and how he didn't want to just live off of those same beers in the new brewery that he was starting up.
Mm-hmm.
But there are similarities between some of the beers that Third Eye has and Brink has. I don't think that anyone would ever...
Well, there's things that Kelly definitely likes.
Sure,
Like,
yes,
that comes
yes.
across in the
sure,
things
sure.
that he-
and they're
that he
fantastic.
makes.
The beers are great. Yeah.
Well, the other thing that can't be discredited is that if you're making a style of beer, there's a very, definitive guide on what you want that beer to taste like.
Sure.
So you're
Sure.
using many of the same ingredients.
Oh, sure, yeah,
You can
yeah.
change the ratios and proportions and all that other stuff. And yes, it's a different beer. But if you want to make...
Well, we want to break it down. All beer is just a couple ingredients.
Yeah. If you want to make a Scotch ale,
Water.
there's a way to make
hops, malt.
There's a way to make a Scotch
Yeast.
ale. And if you're going from one brewery to another, you may not do it in the same necessary proportions,
Mm-hmm.
but it's probably going to be similar.
Guess what ingredients you use for an IPA?
Water?
Water, hops,
No way.
malt, yeast,
What?
Yeah.
stout,
What?
water, hops, malt, yeast.
Are you telling
Yeah.
me it's all the same?
It's all the same.
Damn.
Yeah.
I talked about collaborations. How do collaboration beers happen? Does Kelly approach the people or the groups that he wants to collaborate with, or do they approach him? And he said just sometimes it happens both ways. It just kind of all depends on how conversations go. And
Yeah. He goes
what-
both ways on that.
Yes. Back and forth. There was some talk about how he never thought he would make a pretzel beer, let alone the variants that they did for Pretzel Fest.
Or the best pretzel beer that's ever been
It's
made.
incredible.
Yeah, it is
pretzel beer.
absolutely amazing. And the variants for Pretzel Fest were absolutely spectacular. He did say that this is the first time that he's ever used mustard in any of his beers. When his sales team was saying, oh, these are the flavors we need to have, these are the different types of pretzels that we think would be awesome variants for Pretzel Fest, Kelly was just head in his hands going, how in the hell is this going to happen? But man, they did all right. They did really, really well with that. They're already talking about doing it again next year. Bigger and better, more flavors.
Just let
more-
everyone know. I mean, that's been,
Just,
just let everyone
tell
know.
us.
let know. Just
Yeah.
communicate.
Tell us.
It's fine. It's good.
And if you cancel it, let us know.
Pretzel
Not
Fest was
everybody does.
actually one of the most well-attended Hamilton events that they've had. Kelly was actually pretty surprised at how
That event
But how
has
many
legs. They
people
need to
want-
lean
yeah.
into it. That event has
yes,
legs.
yes.
They can carve that event out as their own
Mm-hmm.
and build on that, and it could be a big deal.
I think it
Oh,
would
yeah.
be. I think it would be cool for them to partner with different local pretzel makers every year, like
That's-
Tuba. I
yeah.
want them to get Tuba in their tap room. Cerveza is
You need
always
to
good.
go
That's-
other German stuff though too. Like you
Oh,
need
sure,
to just
yeah.
completely scrap the whole menu in your kitchen for the day and just be cranking out schnitzel and spätzle and
I agree.
Good.
Most of the menu
German
was
food.
different, like stuffed pretzels and stuff like that.
I'm not talking pretzels. I'm talking,
Oh, talking
other,
about like all
other
full.
German
okay,
food.
okay.
Yeah.
So kind of like a
Schweinehaxen.
Yeah.
kickoff to Oktoberfest in a way, like the
Sure. Yeah.
pre-gaming in
Sort
a
of.
way. In a way.
German food is for every day, not
This
just
is true.
Oktoberfest.
This is true. There was
It's a
mention
bold take there, no?
that they're throwing around the idea of wanting to do a wrestling type event.
Wrestling.
I like it.
Wrestling, I would absolutely love that. I know we've talked about Punch Out in the past and how that will probably never, ever, ever happen again.
Yeah.
But a wrestling event between breweries,
I've heard
that
some
could
discussion
be
about that.
spectacular.
I've heard some
About the wrestling or the punch out?
Just the wrestling.
Wrestling.
About breweries talking about trying to do some kind of wrestling event.
I think that would be wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I would be there. Yeah, I'm still sad that I missed out on Punch Out, but
You never got to go?
I never know.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
It was something. Like, it was a big deal.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely a
I know.
landmark type of event. Like
It was one of those, I am going to make sure that I get there next year, and then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that
Didn't happen.
It did not happen.
God, it was so
But it was so
it
fucking
was so
fun.
fun. And just like we've talked a lot about beer festivals and what makes a good festival and what makes a not good festival. It was just such a good like the beer was good. Like it was like fun beers. It was places that you don't see all the time, you know.
Let's see. Their Amber and New Zealand lagers are on the way. And Blake was able to sip on a West Coast lager. West Coast style lager, I guess, would be more accurate.
West Coast style
It's
lager.
not a thing.
Okay.
They're making it a thing. Yeah.
It's not a thing.
Alrighty then.
It's not a thing, but I understand what it is, which is probably more important.
Yes, agreed. It sounds interesting. I'm definitely down to try it.
Oh,
Next
I'm
time over there.
down to try it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get in the truck.
Maybe we should get in the truck.
Yeah. Gnome's got a truck.
He does have a truck. Can we get in the truck?
Sure, let's get in the truck.
All right. Who's carrying what?
I got the pineapple.
You got the.
Margo,
I got
put
the.
it in.
I got the. Oh, God. Kelly talked about how it is harder to get barrels to barrel age beer with because all the barrels are going out west, which is the first time that I've heard that. But I'm not super into the barrel buying scene. Then the last note that I had on this interview, Kelly talked about what he thinks is the perfect beer style. It may or may not be something that they have won awards for.
Sure.
Yeah. This is a fun interview. All right. Are we? Do you need to take a break before we move on to Barstool Perspective, or are we okay to just
No.
run through this one?
Why
All
don't we-
right. All right.
Why don't we just go for it and
Yeah.
we'll go in and out?
All right. That
That's
works.
what she said.
Yeah.
go.
Hey now.
Hey.
Give me that pineapple.
No. All right. Barstool Perspective. Mike ran the show solo because he and Brett are fighting. They're having a little
Lovers quarrel.
disagreement. Yes, lovers quarrel.
I think it's all related to a certain festival that will go unnamed.
My thought was Brett wasn't there because he was still working on the next day's festivities. Maybe he was just curled up in fetal position, crying in a corner, and couldn't be bothered to roll over to the bar to.
I think he was trying to get the stains out of the Sasquatch costume, and he couldn't.
God, yeah, that's
So then he
true.
just didn't show up.
He said didn't do it. Yeah, yep. He'll never get the.
He
smell out
didn't
of
get the
that.
stains out of it. I mean, the brown matches the brown.
Not wrong. Not
He
wrong.
needs to make sure it's deodorized.
The trick is to turn it inside out and soak it in baking soda and vinegar water for like overnight. I mean,
They got those little beads now. Those
Yeah,
little-
that you put in the.
Oh, I thought you were talking the ones that. Never mind.
Nope.
Nope.
That's a pineapple.
Nope.
One big bead.
Mike started off the show talking about the Anchor Steam update. Well, there isn't one.
No.
There's
There
no
isn't one yet.
steam
There
going
is
on at
so
Anchor
far.
Steam.
Still cautiously optimistic, like maybe something
So
will
Signor
happen.
Chobani bought Anchor Steam, said he loves the brand and the nostalgia and all that, and nothing's happened.
He bought it and he's like, all right, now where's the beer? I'm like, well, sir, you have
Well-
to do something. What?
Yeah.
What?
I mean, he's used to like waiting for things to kind of culture, just like with yogurt, right?
Maybe that's
So, I
he's just
mean,
waiting.
it's not- yeah,
he's just waiting,
yeah.
and
Hold
hoping
on.
the beer comes out somewhere.
I think things are culturing. I think whoa, hey.
Did it just get dark?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
shades went down a bit. Yeah. Mood shading.
Romantic.
Yeah.
Speaking of romantic, if you go to Honolulu for any reason,
Honolulu.
don't drive.
There's a lot of pineapples there, right?
Just do not drive there because
These motherfucking cops. Let me tell you something.
here we go.
Look,
Yes.
the reason why people don't trust cops is they do bullshit shit.
They
because
do.
because you know, these cops, these motherfuckers right here, were deciding to pull people over for no fucking reason. And here's the thing. All you have to do is say, as a police officer, somebody is altered or in an altered state, and you can't combat it. It doesn't matter if you have a zero breathalyzer or not. because you can be altered on other things other than alcohol. So all they have to do is say you're in an altered state, put that in a report, and now you are guilty.
Yep.
And I didn't stutter by accident. You are guilty. And that's bullshit. Bullshit. And I want somebody to investigate and fucking criminally have some sort of consequence for these officers for being incentivized to get somebody early in their shift by being allowed to go home early.
Yeah.
Possibly other incentives for getting inebriated drivers off the road. And if you're getting real inebriated drivers off the road, that's fine. That's fine. And, consequences, all that, fine. But pulling over people who are not and putting that on their record, causing them to go through all the hoops and everything because you are just a piece of shit cop is bullshit.
And that's drivers. Sometimes we, and I say we because this may or may not have happened to me, get arrested on a sidewalk because the cop says you're drunk, even though you're not drunk. But there is no argument because they determined by looking at me that you're drunk.
That's all they have to do.
It's like,
all they have to do is assess that you are inebriated with no actual proof. They just have to claim it. And that's a bullshit. I respect everyone who serves.
I don't.
To protect our freedom.
I don't. I don't respect everybody just by default.
I said everyone who protects our freedom.
Okay. There you go.
The police,
I will accept that.
The police officers who are here to patrol our streets and help us have law in our society.
They should be protecting our freedom too.
Many times are being incentivized or altered for reasons.
Profit. It's all for profit.
That don't necessarily line up to our societal
expectations,
or norms, or just letting bygones be bygones.
For the greater good.
Yeah.
And that, I would say, fuck you.
I can get behind that.
With a pineapple.
Yeah.
Which is not comfortable, I can tell you, because there's one in my butt.
Oh my goodness.
You brought it.
I know.
What else you got, Julia?
I know. The Cuban rum industry is in trouble. That's kind of.
Is it?
So
I don't know.
Is it?
That's what Mike is saying.
So the report is that it.
Mike also told us to buy Tilray, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Long game. It's a long game.
No. Game over.
Will I get a refund for that?
Oh, no.
I think
It'll reverse split, so you'll get it'll be worth a whole bunch real soon.
I think the rum thing is interesting in the sense of I don't care, but I do like listening to or watching Barstool Perspective. The fact that this is a story is something that I'm willing to go with them on the ride to watch. But I don't think the rum industry is doomed. Or
The Cuban rum industry,
rum.
not
Cuban.
rum. Cuban rum.
Cuban rum. Yes.
Cuban rum
Yeah.
industry.
Which we can't even get.
No,
I mean, you can.
Well,
it's a little
right,
tough, but
right. Yeah.
no.
There have been some positive regulations in the THC and hemp beverage market in a couple states.
there's also been some bad ones
There's also been
federally.
yes, exactly.
that are moving along.
So things are still in limbo as far as what is actually going to happen there. Who knows? When I took this note, I had no idea how it would potentially tie in with missing link and that whole bullshit. The roller derby has begun,
It has. I saw that.
but not the roller derby that was happening right across the street from Urban Artifact during what should have been Missing Link Fest, which they could have tied into everything and. But yeah, this story. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, this story was not roller skating, just rolling.
Okay.
Joint rolling. Who makes the best joint? Who rolls the best joint?
It's that guy that Snoop Dogg
Hires, his
hired his
professional-
roller
yeah.
guy. I don't remember the guy's name, but he's
I don't
the guy
remember
that's
his
just on staff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did he make like 60 or 80 grand a year?
I think it was more than that. I think it was six
something-
figures.
Something ridiculous, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mike explained the difference between tap rooms, microbreweries, and brew pubs.
I love the term microbrewery.
It's fantastic.
bring it
isn't
back.
It's sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Want to go grab some microbrews tonight?
I'd rather have
Love
it.
that. It's fun.
And after that, can we hit up the nano brewery place?
Nope, I just like the term
It's just
microbrews.
micro? Okay. okay.
It's just it
sounds so
reminds me
cute.
of when this place opened, Higher Gravity opened. Not long after it opened, there were like four guys walked in. They were probably just fresh off the golf course, and they were probably in their mid 60s, and like, hey, we're in a bar. You guys want a crap beer? You want a Sam Adams? You want a Sam Adams? You want a Sam Adams? Like, yeah. Like, hey, we get 4 Sam Adams, please. And we're like, okay, I guess Boston Lager then. And yeah. And then it's like, here you go.
Up, yeah.
Hi, kids. Can I have some drugs, please? And they're like, yeah, sure. Like,
I'll take your finest microbrew, please.
Sure.
exactly. I'll take your finest microbrew.
Mac. Wow.
Mac the knife.
Mac. Yeah,
Mac tonight.
Mike
Remember
waxed
that?
poetic on the history of craft beer.
I don't think Mike waxes.
Probably not.
He doesn't wax his head?
Nope.
No, definitely not. Just shaves
Shaves.
on occasion.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Wine causes breast cancer. Champagne can prevent heart attacks, and other random
I
studies
haven't
that
heard anything that pouring wine on breasts causes breast cancer.
maybe you haven't poured enough wine on breasts.
I've poured a lot of
Julia.
champagne on a lot of
We
titties.
don't talk about a lot of things.
This is true. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. Let's end the conversation there.
Okay.
Get in the truck.
Be sure to watch this episode to learn whose slogan sucks ass.
You know what slogan I always loved? I thought it was hilarious.
What's that?
Nothing works better than Advil. And I was like, okay, well then I'll just do nothing.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point. Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
I always hated how like that sweet coating on Advil. Yeah.
You don't need it. Nothing works better.
Well, right. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no.
I like probably the world's finest beer. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. There were some bad slogans, but one ruled them all.
Yeah.
Watch the episode to find out because it's a lot of fun. It is a bit more fun when you have both of them going back and forth. However,
Spoiler
it's because
alert. The
nothing,
slogan,
just doing nothing works better than Advil.
pineapples. Better going in than out.
Okay. Very good.
is that Dole's official slogan?
It's my official slogan this week.
Your official slogan.
The sip count for this episode, unless either of you had any other notes. Mike flying solo took 12 sips.
Good job.
So according to our drinking
Pretty good.
game, that's
He was trying to be
24 ounces.
conscious of it.
He was.
Basically-
And he took
was.
big sips. So
He
like
did.
that's the easy way to like compensate.
Absolutely.
Like when you
Absolutely.
know you're not sipping.
I know about
you take a big
compensating.
swig.
He started the episode with a sip, and then he was cognizant that just because he was running the show by himself, that
What'd you call him?
Just
Big
don't worry
sips?
about it. Don't worry about it. Big sips. He was aware that he could take a pause to have a sip. He didn't have to continuously be talking the entire time.
Yeah.
So he was like, you know what? I'm going to pause here. I'm going to
End
take a
of
sip.
comment.
Thought done.
Sip. So that is 1.5 pints in this 33-ish minute episode.
Okay.
Pretty well done.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's
Well,
fine.
I think Mike has done better on his own in shorter episodes before.
Sure.
But you know what? Again, he was doing it all on his own.
Yeah.
Yep.
He wasn't.
Appreciate the effort.
Yeah, it wasn't solo. So,
It's all good.
Solo.
All good.
yeah. Good job.
That's all the content that we have this week.
That's it.
Is it?
Yeah. It's all the official content
Okay.
that we have this week. Yes. Yes.
Sign up for my OnlyFans for pineapple content.
Yeah.
Gnome's got a gnome.
Sign up for ours for Marco's feed picks.
Wow.
That's
likes
one
it.
All right.
satisfied customer
Okay.
right there.
All right. So somebody's happy about that.
All right. Do either of you have any other notes on? I hate saying this. On anything else before we wrap up the episode?
No.
Got that pineapple. Just so you know, I was planning on taking that home and eating it, but I
Just
don't
wash
know
it
if
first.
Wash it. You got to peel
I gotta.
it.
Yeah.
Maybe some
It's gonna be-
vinegar or something. I don't know. You got to get something to get
I'm
it out.
sure
'cause it's
some of that is soaked it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might have to put it in the dishwasher first,
I think
and then.
I think the only problem with peeling it is that the knife hits the peel as you go around.
It shoves anything that's on the peel into the fruit.
Yeah.
Probably-
I think.
Just a little white vinegar, maybe. Yeah,
I think
like
an,
you
I think
said.
an acid
kinda-
bath. Yeah,
yeah.
acid bath, and
It's
then
pretty
right
acidic as
in
it
the
is. Like, it
dishwasher.
might be okay.
It might be
might
fine.
be.
It might be fine.
It might be. Yeah.
Or just close your eyes. It's fine.
Like honey's antibacterial. Maybe pineapple is anti-fecal. I don't know.
Fire up the grill and just grill the pineapple.
There we go.
There we go. Cook
It's
it off. Yeah,
very
There we
tasty.
go. Oh yeah, grilled pineapple's fantastic. Yeah. All right. If you like what we have done this episode, or what we haven't done, or what Gnome has shoved up his butt
Then
this episode,
reconsider your life.
Yes. Yes. If you want to see what happens next week,
OnlyFans.
and also truthbeerpod.com, links
Oh, yeah.
to absolutely
There we
everything,
go.
including our Patreon, where you get unedited episodes. I only cut out the silences, so you get to hear every.
You're going to cut out
You're-
more of the silences. You're going to cut that out. I know you will.
Yeah, I
It was a
probably
big part of the middle of the show.
All right. What are you guys going to be doing next Tuesday?
Drinking Kolsch.
We think this,
we
and
think this
then,
will do
you know,
something.
Kolschness. Cheers.
Excellent. I will catch you guys there. We'll see you next week, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.